This is the new iQOO 13, the Indian variant, and let's face it, the iQOO 12 has been among people's favorites because of one and only reason: performance at a killer price. I mean, we are Indians, we love paying less and getting more, which reminds me, are we actually getting more? And what are the upgrades, what are the downgrades, and what are the controversial features? I'm going to talk about all of that. This is Rupesh, you're watching Sillycorns. Subscribe if you're new here, and let's start with the looks. Now this is the iQOO 13 and the iQOO 12 side by side, and wait, which one's new? What the? Okay, there are certain changes, and I'll start with the back glass, which has a matte finish now. Honestly feels much more classy than the glossy one. More so because you can now feel the BMW Motorsport logo. Yeah. Which by the way is also moved places. The flash as well as the eye blaster are now integrated in the camera model, making it slightly bigger. The frame is still glossy metal and has more antenna bands now, but the dimensions more or less remain the same as the 12. I mean, this is sleek at 8.1mm, but still a big phone and a bit heavy too at 213 grams. Now, display is slightly bigger thanks to narrower bezels on top and bottom, making for a good display experience. But all of that is just looks. There's actually some big upgrades in the functionality here. First off, the 13 brings an upgraded ultrasonic fingerprint scanner, which is better located, works with wet fingers, and is supposed to be more reliable, so it should be great in the long run. There's still stereo speakers, but I found it to be louder, more crisp compared to the 12 speakers. And that's all. One big upgrade in the design is this is now IP68 and IP69 rated. And this is practically the best IP rating a phone can get. So resistant to dust, resistant to even high pressure water. Great, but I also love the fact that iQOO went with a fast USB 3.2 Type-C port, which has fast data transfer speeds and supports 2K 60Hz displays. Yeah, for a gaming phone only makes sense, but the most practical big upgrade has to be the 6000 mAh silicon carbon anode battery, which I know are cut down from 6150 mAh in China, but still a big battery on a flagship grade phone without making it crazy bulky or huge. I mean, I'm still kind of testing this, but a screen on time of around 7-8 hours is insane considering the specs this has. Add to that the 120-watt PD PPS charger you get in the box, which takes the phone to 100% in around 30 minutes. The design upgrades are still not done. The iQOO 13 has one more interesting design choice. So the iQOO 13 has what iQOO calls the halo light here, and this is basically an RGB strip right behind the camera module. So in action, it kind of looks cool, and iQOO has also integrated this everywhere. It has this effect when you turn on the phone, it turns on when you put your phone to charge, it notifies you of calls and syncs with the ringtone music, it works with notifications, alerts you when the battery is low, and works with games too. For example, in BGMI, when you shoot or get hit, this is what the halo light looks like. It even works with elemental bursts in Genshin Impact, and you can customize the lighting effects like the brightness, choose from one of these effects, change the color, and I like how there's also gradient options. Yep, there's a ton of control here. Now, I'll be honest, this is not a crazy useful feature. I mean, it could have been, but it's not. But I'm okay with it because it's not too in your face. You only notice it when it's active. So you tell me, gimmicky or cool? Now the design upgrades apart, the display has gotten a solid upgrade. It's a 2K AMOLED panel now, yes, just like a proper flagship, along with high brightness, 144Hz LTPO refresh rate, 2592Hz PWM dimming, and this is BOE's Q10 AMOLED display, which is supposed to have lower power consumption, better colors. Yep, specs are great all around, but more than that, the display looks great. For once, it's set to QHD+, aka 2K, not 1080p by default. Nice, and this display is sharp, super smooth. I mean, animations just flow on this thing, and the colors are nice and punchy. This also has HDR support, be it in Netflix or YouTube, and yep, no doubt, videos look great on this panel. Even the higher brightness shows in outdoor usage. Add to that, the display is flat, no single curve, dual curves, or quad curves, no curves. I only like curves. Now all of that is good, but this is an iQOO flagship, so you're probably here to see the performance gains, the gaming features, and what this does not disappoint. I mean, this has Snapdragon 8 Elite in all its glory with its new custom cores, all that power with up to 512GB UFS 4.1 storage, yep, I'll get to that, up to 16GB LPDDR5X RAM, vapor chamber cooling, and all of this shows up in the benchmarks. It is 2.8 million in AnTuTu, yep, no 3 million yet, but still crazy good. Geekbench scores are really good, finally competing and beating Apple. Storage tests show UFS 4.1 being slightly faster than 4.0, but 4.1 is supposed to be more about efficiency and better thermals. Anyway, 3D Mark scores are good too, but stability does put a doubt in your head. And honestly, that doubt has been in my head ever since the 8 Elite launch. What about the heating? What about the throttling? So I ran the CPU throttling test, and in the default settings, I found no throttling issues, but I also noticed that this was only engaging the performance cores and not the 4.3 GHz prime cores. So I I set things to 100 threads, and in this, the prime cores were definitely more active, but again, no major throttling. Yes, the phone was hot, but definitely not crazy hot. In fact, I checked the temperatures even when running the benchmarks, and yes, the frame here kind of gets hot, but this temperature is something we have seen in flagships time and again, especially in these tests. So nothing alarming in benchmarks. And what's more important to note is that this does not heat up randomly out of the blue. It does not get hot in day-to-day usage, and does not go over 40-42 degrees even after hours of gaming. I tested this with BGMI at max 120 FPS settings, and after like 30 minutes of gameplay, this was the temperature. Even with Genshin set to highest graphics, 60 FPS, the phone does not heat up like crazy. And if you're wondering how's the gameplay, it's obviously crazy good. It's smooth, no weird frame drops, everything just flies, seems well optimized, and that's kind of what you expect from a phone with such great specs. And yeah, at the end of the day, this is supposed to be a proper gaming phone, and this does have a lot of new gaming features powered by iQOO's V2 chip. For example, there's bypass charging, something I've seen in ROG phones. Basically, plug in a charger and the phone takes power directly, does not use the battery for better performance, better thermals. You can even see the FPS in games from right here. There's an esports mode which basically blocks everything else, prioritizes the gaming performance. There's frame interpolation to push games to 144 FPS, and there's a lot more as you can see here. So the performance has been top of the line in my usage so far, and we all kind of expected that. So let's talk about the cameras, because there's one upgrade and there's one downgrade. So this has triple 50 megapixel cameras, and the ultra wide angle camera remains the same from the iQOO 12. The main camera though has been upgraded to the Sony IMX921, and while the 50 megapixel IMX816 telephoto lens sounds good, it brings 2x optical zoom, 30x max zoom, and there's no OIS. I mean, compare that to the periscope telephoto lens in the 12 that had 3x optical zoom and 100x zoom. Now that apart, I like the fact that all cameras here can do 4K 30 FPS video, so you can switch between lenses. Even the 32 megapixel front camera has 4K support, which is great. Now coming to the photo quality, the main camera has been pretty good if you ask me. It takes great shots in daytime, right exposure, good details. The colors also look great without being, oversaturated. It even handles HDR pretty well. Now the low light shots look fairly good too. Sometimes the details are kind of decentish to reduce noise, but not too bad again if you ask me. Even the 2x lens is great. Yes, a 3x lens would have made more sense, more practical, but it is what it is. And yes, there is a 4x option that crops from the telephoto lens, and it's not crazy impressive, but does the job well. The portrait mode too has multiple focal lengths to choose from, and while edge detection is not spotless, things actually look pretty good. Even the upgraded selfie camera does a great job at selfies. I mean, I found the iQOO 12 selfie camera to be pretty okay, and this is definitely better. Skin tones look natural yet rich, and there's good sharpness all around. Now the ultra wide angle camera is okay, good enough, but nothing extraordinary, even though it's 50 megapixels. As for the video quality, the stability is mostly good. I did find some EIS jitter here and there, but overall the video quality seems to be good enough, and same is the case when recording a 4K video from the selfie camera. I also like that the camera app is fast enough, no weird stutters or lag, and I like how swiping up like this brings this street photography mode with a unique UI, these cool filters. Yeah, this seems fun. Now cameras apart, this is running the latest FunTouch OS 15 based on Android 15, which does bring a lot of personalization features, and this is promised to get 4 years of OS updates and 5 years of security patches, which is honestly great because the iQOO 12, if I remember, was one of the first phones to get Android 15, so yeah, good. Having said that, the bloatware situation hasn't improved. You still get these third-party apps and these games pre-installed, which is not a good look for what is their premium flagship phone. Now connectivity-wise, this is solid 360-degree NFC support, Wi-Fi 7, Bluetooth 5.4, all the 5G bands you need. Now coming to the pricing, the iQOO 12 was so hyped up because it launched at 52,999 and it remained the most affordable 8 Gen 3 phone throughout. Now this is here, and I'm expecting it to be the most affordable Snapdragon 8 Elite phone. And you know what? Coming from the iQOO 12, this is one solid upgrade. I mean, except for no wireless charging, slightly downgraded telephoto lens, and the whole bloatware situation that iQOO really needs to fix, this is a flagship phone all around with really no compromises. I know everyone's going to talk about the Halo light, but the design has so many practical upgrades. The battery is crazy now, the display is flagship grade finally, the cameras seem pretty optimized, especially for social media, and the performance to price ratio, like always, remains the big USP. Now I know there's the Realme GT7 Pro too, but I like the iQOO 12 for its better selfie camera, the USB-C 3.2 port, and I think iQOO will go for the most affordable 8 Elite phone tag. And yes, there's also the OnePlus 13 coming, which on paper has better cameras, wireless charging, and it should probably have a clean software experience, but yes, it will be priced higher too. So yes, the iQOO 13 seems pretty spot on for the price it's being launched at, and yes, I will be pinning the official price in the comment section down below, so check it out and then let me know what you think of the iQOO 13 at its price. Comment below. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one, and make sure to subscribe.